Hi everyone, welcome to Machine Learning Engineering YouTube channel. I would like to introduce myself and the channel. I'm a machine learning engineer working in this field since last 4 years, and I've been involved in machine learning since almost last 8 years. And so far, I'm working on natural language understanding, natural language processing. So far, I've seen machine learning engineering field has emerged in recent years as one of the most important fields required. And this channel is more about exploring machine learning engineering, um, learning how machine learning engineering works in real world AI applications. How do you really get your models to production, understanding system design, machine learning operations, deploying your machine learning models, serving your model APIs, and a whole host of different topics. So just to show you what different topics I'm going to cover on this channel, starting with Python. I think Python is the most important language in machine learning at this moment, since all the machine learning libraries are heavily developed in Python. There are a lot of different other languages also catching up and building machine learning libraries. Recently, I've seen JavaScript as well as Swift, but Python is still very dominant at this moment. So we'll be talking a lot about Python, and then all the tools, libraries would be revolving around Python language. Then the next topic is MLOps, which is a relatively new field, branched out from DevOps, developer operations. MLOps specifically focuses on the infrastructure side of things, where machine learning models are involved. How do you really deploy your machine learning models, infrastructure related to machine learning models, and just generally monitoring or just maintenance of your machine learning models, or the architecture of those machine learning model deployments. Next topic, ML frameworks, machine learning frameworks. As you are already familiar with PyTorch, TensorFlow, and different MXNet, different types of frameworks out there to build your machine learning models, but they also come with different serving modules. For example, PyTorch comes with TorchServe, TensorFlow comes with TF serving, and there's something called TensorRT. There are different types of the modules to be used for serving your models. So we'll be exploring a lot about how do you really use these serving modules or libraries, and then really use them at your advantage in deploying machine learning models that you've built. Building machine learning APIs. This is one of the most widely used use case, at least in recent times. Whenever you want to build microservices, internal microservices with REST API, or you just want to build or deploy models and then provide your models to end users or your customers through an API. That's also one of the use cases, and I think there are a lot of different libraries available or frameworks available to develop your or build your web apps. Something along those lines would be FastApi or Flask framework, which has been quite popular in Python ecosystem. So we'll be exploring how you really use those things to leverage building your REST APIs or just APIs in general. And we'll be talking about machine learning engineering best practices. So what are some different coding practices, different project structures, or how do you really maintain your Python code base, or just machine learning pipelines in general. How are they really set up in organizations, and then what are different types of training pipelines, inference pipelines, um, and then different data processing workflow in real world machine learning systems and machine learning organizations. Um, the next topic would be ML deployment, as this is one of the key aspects of machine learning engineering, where you really want to understand how you want to deploy your machine learning models. Several different techniques involved here, but Docker or containerizing your models is one of the first steps you really want to take, where you want to package your machine learning models into applications, or containerizing them using Docker, and then using something like container orchestration. And one of the most widely popular tools is Kubernetes, where you really want to deploy your containers at scale. And that's one of the fascinating areas we'll be exploring in this channel. I'll be talking about how Kubernetes is really used to serve machine learning models. Next topic is shipping machine learning models to production. So we've talked about how we build. Lot of channels or different people talk about how you really build machine learning models, or you also learn that through the university or different online courses you attend. But no one really, or very few people, talk about how you really want to take those machine learning models and really deploy it into production setting, or how you get it to customers, or how do you really put it to real world use cases where they can actually be used and at scale, and then produce some value out of it. So that's one of the key areas we'll be covering in this channel. And then software engineering concepts for machine learning. Software engineering is one of the key areas where we can derive a lot of fundamental concepts for machine learning in general, but we'll be talking more specifically about machine learning. And we'll be also exploring different real-world machine learning applications or artificial intelligence applications in general, how organizations are leveraging AI and machine learning to power their products, and what are some different use cases out there in the industry. And we'll also explore what are some different future applications which are not yet in the industry, or they're not really available to be used, and what are some different areas which are really going to be useful in future, where machine learning is going to be the most important aspect, where it can be leveraged and have quite significant impact. So and a lot of different topics, and a lot more topics we'll be covering in this channel, but these are just some outlines on what are some major topics I'll be covering. I've just given examples alongside, just to give you an idea of what kind of tools we'll be talking about, but there are also different types of tools we'll be covering, just to widen our understanding of how these tools operate in real world, and what are some of the best practices, or what are some of the best tools used for each of those specific topics. So who would be most interested in this channel, or the content that I'll be creating going forward? So if you're a data scientist already working in the industry, I think this would be really important to you. I have worked with a lot of data scientists where they are heavily into building machine learning models, or analyzing data sets, generating insights, but they don't really have the skill set, or they don't have the exposure to build the machine learning models. And then after they've built the machine learning models, they don't really understand how do you really get it out to production setting, or how do you really ship out your machine learning models to be actually used in a product, or how do you really integrate your machine learning models you've built locally or in Jupyter notebooks or any different types of development environments, and then how do you really get it to production. So that's one of the key areas that you would be really interested to learn about. And then I think this just adds to your skill set, that it would really equip you with a lot of different skills. You would be self-sufficient in order to building your models, and then just whatever you have built on model side, you can actually deploy or get it out to the real world yourself. So that's going to be very important. If you are a machine learning engineer already working in the industry, I think this channel or the content here would be really useful to you in terms of exploring what are some different types of models or tools tools which are used across different organizations or real world. You might be working on some specific tech stack or some specific machine learning models, for example, computer vision or natural language processing, but we'll be exploring a whole host of different domains, as well as how are they really deployed. So I think this will just give you enough reach into different domains or tap into different types of tools. If you're a data engineer, I think you've worked with a lot of data sets and you've built pipelines around data sets, workflow management. But you might be wondering how machine learning models are deployed, or how machine learning engineers make these models accessible to like just product in general, or how do you really get it in production. That's going to be one of the use cases that you might be interested in. Or if you are thinking of switching your career from data engineer to machine learning engineer, I think these types of videos would really help you in understanding or exploring those different career paths. If you are a data analyst, again similar, if you're really willing to tap into data scientist, or if you want to become a machine learning engineer, or if you just want to explore how different topics are involved in machine learning engineer or data scientist in general, I think these types of videos will really help you understand what are some real world AI applications and how they are really delivered. And if you're a software engineer, I think I've worked with a lot of software engineers that are really interested in machine learning, but they are just hesitant that they don't have enough background or they don't have enough skill set required to build machine learning applications. I think software engineering is a really key aspect if you are into machine learning engineering. So if you are a software engineer, you've already got some fundamentals covered from software engineering side. And now all you really need to understand is how software engineering works with machine learning, and then how do you really integrate those two things to actually get your models from, let's say, data scientists, or if you're yourself a machine learning engineer, or if you're just data scientist and you want to get your model out to the world or integrate it into your product, I think this is one of the key skill sets required to understand how do you ship out these things. So if you're a software engineer, you want to learn more about basics of machine learning and how you really leverage machine learning and ship it out to different AI applications, I think this is the right place you've come in. And if you're a student studying at university or studying from online boot camps or online courses, you might have come across different AI or machine learning algorithms, but they don't necessarily teach you how it really works in real world applications. How do you really put your models or integrate your models into the product, and how that can be deployed at scale, how that generates value for the product. So these are just different areas that you can explore while you're studying, and this will add to your skill set, as well as I think this will just give you different ideas about what machine learning is about in real world or in applied world, and then you can just get much better intuition of what you're studying or what you're exploring right now in at school or in your studying journey so far, and then how you can really take those concepts and really learn from these videos about how you can apply it into real world applications. So I think um, that's the only thing I wanted to cover so far. This is just an introduction video, and I have a lot of things planned up already, and um, I'll be talking a lot more about different topics we talked about in the previous slide. So if you are interested in learning about these topics, please give a like to this video, and just give some feedback on the comments. If you're interested in learning some different topics, feel free to add those topics in comments. I'll be reading through all the comments and just incorporate that feedback into my future content. If you have any questions, feel free to post it in the comments. I'll respond it in the comment section, and please subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you'll be notified whenever I release a new video or one of the topics that we've discussed in the previous slide. Whenever it comes out, you'll get a notification. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.